Oh my God, we got a big one today on Sound Off Sports. We got the NFL legend, Hall of Famer Dan Marino joining us here in the studio. It's big time stuff. Plus, we're talking a little Pete Carroll, a little bit about Marc-Andre Fleury. You don't want to miss it. SOS starts right now.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
Hello there, and welcome here inside the Den Fox 5 studios. Mike Davis for Sound Off Sports. I'm joined by my main man, James Edward Barrickman IV, a Yinzer who was connecting with one of the greatest Yinzers of all time.
Maybe the GOAT Yinzer.
Dan Marino wanted to, he loved you.
That was so cool, just getting to sit there and talk to him about where we grew up. It felt like, it didn't feel like I was talking to one of the greatest quarterbacks who's ever stepped on the field. It felt like I just ran into another Pittsburgher out here, and you do what other Pittsburghers do when you run into other Pittsburghers. You talk about Pittsburgh. And that's what it felt like. It was really cool getting to talk to him.
We're still geeked out about it. He is going to be coming on the show just in a little bit. You'll be able to see that exclusive conversation with number 13. But before that, we got some more football to talk about. Pete Carroll versus Jim Harbaugh. Monday Night Football showdown. Of course, a big division battle. James, 20-9. The Raiders lose this one. We have a good call we want to get to right from one of our listeners, one of our viewers. Let's take a quick listen.
Hey, Mike and James, Ruben Gutierrez here from Las Vegas again. Here we go again, Raiders. To Uncle Pete, your team participation trophies are ready to pick up. The nation is so proud of how you were shaking hands and patting the boys on the back on every third and out. So glad you didn't want to hurt Gino's feelings and put Cam Miller in. See you at the pizza party at the end of the season. And by the way, get rid of that self-proclaimed defensive coach. That guy is, I don't know, man. You guys can't see that? I don't understand. You're supposed to be one of the top coaches, and here you are patting people on the back. Hey, good job for not hurting the guy. Good job, you guys. All right, I'm glad I threw in that play that gives you 3 yards, and we needed 22. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's get it together. James, Mike, give them some advice, please. Out.
Ruben Gutierrez, a lot of passion in that call. We appreciate you giving us a buzz, 702-855-3502. We want to hear your thoughts just like we heard Ruben's right there. James.
That might be on SOS Call Mount Rushmore.
I mean,
that was pretty good.
All we asked for is passion.
Yeah.
You don't have to be right. You just have to be passionate. Now, he was funny, too. I mean, the pizza party thing, that cracked
Humor's a bonus. Humor's a bonus.
Humor's a bonus. Listen, a lot to break down with this. Of course, after week one, it wasn't a critical, display where we were thinking, okay, they just went out and beat, the Eagles or the Chiefs. It was the Patriots, but it was still a good win. A win is a win.
The Patriots are going to be a good team.
And they got Drake, man. They got a new coaching staff, Mike Vrabel, all that stuff. A win is a win in the NFL. Correct. Now, losing a division battle, especially with the Chiefs 0-2, this was a big opportunity for the Raiders at home Monday Night Football to go 2-0 right now and get a big jump in that division, that AFC West. Now, what was your big takeaway, James? Because I think there's a lot to look at here. Of course, the offense couldn't get going all night, and it was a totally different Gino than we saw in week one. Gino looked good week one. Yeah. Week two, he threw 3 picks. He was under pressure. He was rattled. It was a different Gino.
Gino didn't look good last night, obviously. You don't need a master's degree to figure that one out. But I don't think I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know about the Raiders, We knew their O-line was bad. We knew that Gino was inconsistent. We knew that this is a team in their first year under Pete Carroll learning how to become a winner, learning winning habits. And we knew that this team was probably going to win about 7 games. Again, first year under Pete Carroll, you have Geno Smith, who is a middle-of-the-road quarterback. At best, he keeps you competitive wild card weekend. He's not going to win you a Super Bowl. We know that there were some key pieces on this roster, but the roster's not where it needs to be to compete. There's questions surrounding the O-line. I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know about the Raiders, and I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know about the Chargers.
I think what we did learn is how intricately involved Tom Brady is
now that
with
was
this organization.
Yes.
He's in the booth. He's, definitely more of a fixture with this team in terms of football operations than I think most of us knew. I think there was a lot of alluding to that throughout the media, but we actually got to see the proof in the pudding last night. Now, here's
in the booth with the headset?
That's big.
Yeah, it was pretty
cool.
Now,
20-9 losing that game, I think here's the thing with Geno. I mean, Geno can put you in a position to win, and he can put you in a position to lose. And that's kind of what happened yesterday. When you're only giving up 20 points to Justin Herbert, and we could have won that game even for how bad we looked. So, I mean, the thing is, when you're losing that turnover ratio that Coach Tice always talks about on the Coach's Cut now, if you're losing that turnover battle and that ratio, you're giving up 3 picks, you're not getting a lot of offense going. Genti still hasn't gotten going. It's 11 carries for 43 yards, better than last week, but he should be getting fed the ball a minimum of 20 carries.
This is why I didn't like Genti at number 6 to begin with. Great player. But you don't have an offensive line. And running backs, as we know, are only as good as their offensive line. So they're trying to use Genti. How many carries? 11 yesterday?
11 for 43.
You can't just be handing him off the ball behind that O-line. You got to find more creative ways to get him in space because that O-line is just not good.
And they were doing that. There were some swing passes. He made some guys miss. But in order to get the run game going, you got to commit to the run game. That's the big thing. Everybody knows that. If 11 carries for Genti is not enough. It's just not.
They couldn't run the ball early, and then all of a sudden they're down. It was shocking to me how much they used Zamir White and Dylan Lobby.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, how little late in that second half that Ashton Genti was on the field.
It was just something different going on. Of course, the way they were pushing the ball down the field against the Patriots week 1, it just looked totally different. They couldn't get on the same page and get some stuff going with this. It's not time to throw a panic fit. It's week 2. We just got done. It's 1-1. It's week 2. You're heading into week 3. We'll see what happens. But Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, a rivalry that dates back to 2007. And, of course, Harbaugh got the win this time. Guys, just like Ruben Gutierrez, always give us a call, 702-855-3502. Coming up next, it's my pleasure to have the great, the legendary, the Hall of Famer, Dan Marino here in the studio. You don't want to miss it. That's next. All right, welcome here inside the Den Fox 5 studios. Mike Davis. I am joined by a legend, a Hall of Famer, 17 seasons in the NFL, Rookie of the Year, MVP, Hall of Famer. When he retired, he had more completions, yards, touchdowns than any player in NFL history, and now he's doing a great thing for all of us as we're attempting to be perfect with our health journey, everything that we're trying to do to stay healthy, fit, and great members of society with a lot to do with grandkids, family, all that good stuff. Yep. It's the legendary Dan Marino. Dan Marino, thanks for being here. Happy birthday, by the way.
It's my birthday, too. That's great, man. Yeah, just don't tell anybody.
I won't. You're looking great. We're going to get into a lot of football stuff. We got to talk Dolphins. We got to talk a little draft stuff. I'm curious to hear your takes on a lot of things around the NFL. But let's talk about today because a lot of great stuff went down with everything you're doing with these it's called Unordinary Stories, okay? Yes. And now we're going to talk about MASH, but Novo Nordisk, you came out with this great video, this whole great campaign to kind of tell people that they need to get checked, they need to be on top of their health, and this MASH disease, it's a silent disease. It's a silent killer. A lot of people don't know about it. Could you first tell our audience what MASH really is?
MASH is a fatty liver disease, and first of all, thanks for having me. Fatty liver disease, and we felt it was important to get the story out. All right, ordinary stories are it's you got to go online, you got to check it out because it's friendly, it's educational, and it's true, and it's something you need to check out and see. But really, I got diagnosed in 2007. It's been a long time, but it's manageable. That's the one thing about for everybody out there. When you go get your checkups, you have to do that, that it is manageable. And I've been able to manage that for years, obviously. And I wanted to, we wanted to make a difference and see if we can, it's the awareness thing. Make aware that when you go to the doctor, you ask them, check everything out, get your blood test, all those things, because it's something you could have it and not even know you have it. And I mean, 1 in 20 people have it.
That's what I saw in the video.
15 million people have it, and a lot don't even know they have it. So, that's the key. That's our program. That's what we're trying to get across and just to make a difference in a positive way.
And you've always tried to make a difference throughout your career with the Dan Marino Foundation, autism awareness, all that kind of stuff. Why did you want to speak out with this? Because I think, a lot of people don't know about MASH. Of course, it's a metabolic disease. You said a form of fatty liver. Why come out? Why did you want to really open up your life? We see you walking your dog with your wife. You're golfing with your buddies. You're training with your teammates.
Isn't that a good video? It's a good story. Video. It's a good story. Why is because I think we can make a difference. And a lot of times in this situation, if it's where people don't know and they don't necessarily ask their doctors or they don't go to get checkups. I'm sure you get your checkups, right? You get your checkups. If you don't go and do that, you're not going to know. And the best part about it is manageable, and that's it. Because I've always felt like if I can make a difference in that sense, we feel like we're making a difference that way. That just the awareness of it to make people understand, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and of course there's so many amazing stories, regular people as well. But Cheryl Swoops, WNBA Hall of Famer, we have you on there, so it's great to see all these great. Unordinary stories, and it's amazing to see
Cheryl's great. She's great.
She's great. She's a legend. So make sure you go check this out. It's really important. It's a beautiful video, and it gives you a lot of good information because health, wellness, diet, exercise, all those things, it feels different when it's coming from an NFL Hall of Famer. That, right? Why does it land different?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's not only that if it lands different, but it's just to get the awareness out there. Yeah. And you're right. When I talk to my doctors, I got diagnosed, it's all about getting exercise, working out, having a positive attitude, and keep following up and making sure that you're healthy in that way and in every way that you can be.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
I love it. All right, so make sure you go check it out. Unordinary Stories. Everybody's been covering it. People Magazine. It's been all over. Make sure you go check it out. MASH, a silent disease that really, if checked and you're on top of it, all is good.
It's manageable.
That's the way to be. All right, any last things on that you want to make sure you tell us?
Just that glad to be a part of it. Glad to be a part of the other professional players that are doing, professional players that are doing some of the stories and being partners with them. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're great stories. Check them out because they're not only fun, but they're very educational, and it can make a difference in your life.
Yeah, 100%. And now he's living a great life, wife, kids, grandkids, the whole thing. But let's go back.
That's another thing. You got to get your checkups and do all that because to me, I got 4 grandkids, the wife, the family, my kids. It's important because, you want to see them. You want to see them grow up and be part of all that. So you got to stay on top of your health.
Okay, listen. If I say if I tell you this, do something, you're not going to do it. But if Dan Marino tells you,
there you go. If I tell you, you got to do it.
That's how it works. Okay, let's talk about Yinzerland. Let's go back to Pittsburgh. My producer James over there is already excited. Central Catholic High School.
Yes.
Your father delivered papers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Is that true?
Yes, he did. And he worked night turn. So you know how the coin boxes were on the corner? You put a quarter in, you open it up, and take the paper out? That's what he did. He did it downtown Pittsburgh. You see, you can hear the accent, right? Downtown Pittsburgh, he did that for over 20 years. Yeah, over 20 years.
Now, of course, you're, a Pittsburgh legend, Central Catholic High School. You're playing baseball, you're playing football, you're All-American. You get drafted by the Kansas City Royals in 4th round of the draft. Go to Pittsburgh. But, let's talk about this draft because I think 1983, when I'm scaling through your history and all the amazing things we know about you.
Sure.
you had the quickest release. You threw a hard ball. If you were a wide receiver, you could get your finger broken from a Dan Marino pass. But 1983, after you have this incredible career at Pittsburgh, 6 quarterbacks go, and you're the last guy to go, 27th.
Yeah. Yep.
And what I love is, everybody always loved you, humble guy, the dude everybody wanted to be. But you must have had a chip on your shoulder seeing 5 guys go ahead of you.
Well,
is that how it felt?
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, a little bit. Yeah, it did, because I felt like I was, and a lot of people told me I was going to be picked higher. And then as the draft went on, I went further in draft. I still was a first-round pick. I mean,
right. It's not a bad thing to be a first-round pick.
It's not, it's not that bad. And you think about that draft in that first round. I mean, I believe there's 6 Hall of Famers in that first round.
A lot of great players.
A lot of great players. So you can understand how that happened, and
which is great.
For me, I went to a great spot. I went to Coach Shula. He was established. They were in the Super Bowl a year before that, right, and they lost to the Redskins. So I was in a great position to get drafted there. So it worked out well.
All right, I want to thank the great Dan Marino, Novo Nordisk. Make sure you go to unordinarystories.com. Check out that great story there, and go to our YouTube page, Silver State Sports, for the complete conversation with Dan Marino.
You're watching Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
Golden Knight or Penguin, how will Fleury be remembered? Kip Kelly on X says, long run with Pittsburgh, but he's a bigger part of VGK history to date.
All right, welcome back to SOS. Mike Davis here. Listen, big news in the hockey world. The Flower, Marc-Andre Fleury, one of the premier, the most favorite figures we've had in sports here in Las Vegas, has made some news. Marc-Andre Fleury signing a professional tryout contract with the Penguins. He's going to play in an exhibition game in September with his former team. We asked everybody at home, should he be remembered more so as a Pittsburgh Penguin or as a Vegas Golden Knight? James, let's hear our first response.
Fleury will forever be remembered as a Penguin. 3 Stanley Cups. That's not debatable. He's a Penguin. Go Pens.
All right, so thank you for the response, 702-855-3502. 13 years with the Penguins, Marc-Andre Fleury, number 1 overall draft pick in 2003. He's won 3 cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So a lot of people would probably assume the Penguins is the team that he's probably going to be most remembered playing for. But
the correct answer is the Penguins, and she's absolutely right. And most of our responses were absolutely right. As you mentioned, 13 seasons with the Penguins. That's where it all started. That's where he became a star. That's where he became the Flower. 3 cups. You remember that 2009 save against Nicholas Lidstrom to seal Game 7 in Detroit. Iconic save in not just Pittsburgh history, hockey history. Those cups in 16-17, though, people forget he wasn't the starter. It was Matt Murray. And he ended up taking Fleury's job, and then Fleury got drafted by Vegas in the expansion draft. Horrible move for the Penguins because we don't even know who Matt Murray is anymore. And Flower turned into a star here in Las Vegas and had some of the best years of his career. Yeah. He won his only Vezina here.
Well, 4 years here with the Vegas Golden Knights, and it even feels like more than 4 years for how big of a role he played in professional hockey, becoming such a staple of our city. And I think, there was a comment, James, you mentioned. Somebody said it depends who's doing the remembering with this.
Right.
I don't think it's wrong for a lot of hockey fans here in Vegas to think, I'm going to remember Marc-Andre Fleury as a Vegas Golden Knight, because it does matter who's doing the remembering. Now,
that's why we can't ask Golden Knights fans or Penguins fans.
You can't. And
we got to have somebody else.
Whoever it would be in charge of doing his, Pro Hockey Hall of Fame bust, what jersey he's wearing in that bust, maybe it would be a Pittsburgh Penguin jersey.
It is going to be a Pittsburgh Penguin
but
jersey.
Part of it is, to me,
otherwise he wouldn't have signed that contract.
To me, I just feel like an analogy is somebody that you love, James, could have been loved by another person. The love of your life could have also been the love of somebody else's life. So it really does matter, who who's doing the loving, who's doing the remembering,
100%. It's all about, it is all about who's doing the remembering. And I just want to say this, while we're on this show that has so many Pittsburgh legends in it, growing up watching the Pittsburgh Penguins as Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang were hitting their primes, I grew up wanting to be a goalie. When we would go play street hockey at the roller rink or wherever, I wanted to play goalie. I didn't want to be Sidney Crosby. I didn't want to be Evgeny Malkin. I wanted to be Marc-Andre Fleury. That's how big of an impact he had on kids across Pittsburgh, myself included, and the impact I'm sure he had on so many kids right here in Las Vegas.
100%. You go to T-Mobile, you go see all the medieval maniacs, people still to this day wearing that Marc-Andre Fleury jersey. Guys, we'll be right back after a short break.
Golden Knight or Penguin, how will Fleury be remembered? Ben Mufasa Plesser on Facebook says, is this a serious question? He's undoubtedly a Penguin.
All right, welcome back. Time for Sink or Swim. We just want to say thank you to Dan Marino, the legendary quarterback, the Hall of Famer. What a tremendous guy, a great individual. James, what did you think about having him in the studio with us?
Yinzer legend. Great to meet the guy. Felt like I was just talking to, somebody I ran into that just so happened to also be from Pittsburgh, not one of the greatest to ever step on the field. So it was awesome for him to give us some of his time, sit down here with you on his birthday, no less. So happy 64th birthday from all of us here at Fox 5. Thanks again for coming in.
Yeah, and just real quickly, I have to mention, Dan, thank you so much for everything you're doing, sharing your health journey with us, partnering with Novo Nordisk. Of course, you can go to unordinarystories.com, learn all about his diagnosis with MASH. He wants to make sure all of you go out, get checked, and get on top of your health and wellness, and you can live a great and inspiring life just like Dan Marino. Thanks so much for joining us here. For editor Jess, for producer James, I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you next time here for Sound Off Sports.